Hey everyone, welcome to Wisdom. This is your host Prathis. Today we're going to talk about compounding interest. Before I go into the video, I would like to do some public announcements, usual stuff. Thank you very much for listening to my videos. I know a lot of you are actually helping my view count go up, and a lot of you actually are like my audiences. That's great, fantastic news, and I'm encouraged by it. And also, I would love you to be leaving some comments just to say what type of feedback you want to give me, and also what type of videos or topics you want to talk about. And I'm kind of concentrating on finances at the moment, so don't be bored about it. I would also want to give you my calorie counts today. You can see I'm wearing a Garmin. And today I did around 1 hour and 30 minutes of cycling indoors, and I burned around 1100 calories. So, yeah, that's the motivator today. And before, um, you know, me prolonging on a rant. Without further ado, let's do our topic today. It's compounding interest. So I was keep talking about investments, and I have a confirmation bias because I always do a lot of research about investments and talk about investments, and I presume that everyone knows about everything. But this channel, I would love to build a community where you can actually come as one-on-one for all things finance and workouts and lifestyle, in my own opinion, because there's a lot of guys or girls, creators, creating a lot of things in YouTube, and there's a lot of information. But today we're going to specifically talk about compounding interest. So investments, say everyone says go invest on index funds or go invest on individual stocks or crypto or gold or commodities. And how do we do that? So we always talk about something called dollar cost averaging, right? So I will also break this down the line, but today we're going to specifically talk about compounding. Dollar cost averaging or pound cost averaging or whatever your currency is, the basic is that you try to put a certain amount of money into a certain ETF or a stock every month, regardless of the price. So, whatever happens, say for example, a stock is priced at $100 and you decided to put $100 every month. So, this month I will buy one stock because it's $100. But the next month, if the stock goes to $50, I'm still putting $100 and I will buy two stocks. But then the third month, if the stock goes up to like $200, but if I'm only putting $100 again, because I am only putting $100 every month, I will buy half of the stock, zero point 0.5 stocks. So I put $300 in 3 months. And the first month I bought one, the second month I bought two, the third month I bought half, right? So that would come to 3.5, right? So if you count all that up, $300, and I have 3.5 stocks, my stock value is now $350, right? So I made some money out of it. That's dollar cost averaging. So if it's going down, you keep buying more of the same item, and if it's going up, you keep buying less of the same item because the amount of money you're investing is the same. And how compounding and this comes into play, right? So financial independence is something very important. Again, I am throwing a new topic here, but bear with me. What is financial independence? So it's come to a point where your investments makes enough money which will cover your costs or expenses of living. That's what financial independence. So you don't have to go to work as a necessity. You can go to work as a choice. I would always recommend you keep yourself active and engaged, because you don't know, as soon as you win a lottery, you will go like so bored. A lot of people who win lotteries without proper financial planning get broke. So Einstein famously said that compounding interest is the eighth wonder of the world. So I'm going to just trying to break it down in a very simple way. Okay, so this is something I heard from someone or somewhere. This fascinated me so much. I always give that example to everyone. So a person called A, invested $100 a month from 18 years, and they stopped it at 25 years. And say that someone called B looked at them, and I thought, oh, at 25, because they're the same age, he started investing $100 a month and he went all the way up to his retirement, say 65, who do you think will have the most amount of money? I'm going to hold the answer because I would love you guys to wait till we go through the important point. But think about it. The A person invested $100 every month into an index fund from 18 to 24, and the B person started at 25 and went all the way to 65, and he also put $100 a month every month until he was 65. So who would have the most money by the time they both turn 65, right? Right. Think about it. This is a tricky question. So the whole point of the compounding is when someone is actually putting money, if the market is anything to go by, when I refer to the market, I'm talking about the largest market in the world at the moment, which is the S&P 500, the US market. So you're following the largest 500 companies as an index, as the benchmark, right? For the last 80 to 100 years, so after the depression, the 1929 US depression, the US markets returned around 10%, inflation adjusted 8% per year. So no one lost money in a 20-year period. So if you carry on investing, long-term investing is very important. If you want your money for short term, like you want the money in 3 months or 6 months, don't go and invest because that's a risky idea, right? The markets can crash, the markets can blow up, they can go up. It's gambling. It's not investing and it's speculation. And also remember, this is not financial advice, but when you invest, it depends on the product as well. If you invest in a crappy company and expect some return, that's not going to happen because it's probably at some point it's going to go to zero, right? There's a saying, right? Warren Buffett says, in short term, stocks are voting machines. In the long term, they are weighing machines. So what does it mean? So in the short term, the news follows the price, right? Every quarter they come out with earnings, and if they beat the earnings, the stock goes up, and if they don't beat the earnings, they go down, and vice versa. And you think one company goes down 10% today, that means that it was 10% less value compared to yesterday, right? Doesn't make sense, right? So the efficient market theory, this is why I don't agree with it, right? I don't think that's true or it works, at least in my opinion. And this is our great opportunity, right? If the market goes down and if the company has actually its fundamentals, just go and buy it, right? But again, you need to know, like, to evaluate the company. If someone comes and tells you their house is like $1 million, and the neighbor house or the other house in the area is just like very similar with everything, and they're only 250,000, and no one's going to buy that $1 million house if it's the same house. And if it's come down to 500,000, it's 50% down now. It's still expensive, right? So you need to know what valuation you have to pay. If you pay the wrong price, it's still going to be a bad investment. So doing all that, and you start investing into a perfect ETF or whatever, right? Every month you put in money, right? And this return, so say for example, I'm going to use that $100 example. You put $100 every month, and say, as for simplicity, the total stock price will appreciate end of the year, right? So if you put $100 for 12 months, it's $1,200 or 1,200 pounds or whatever currency you are using, but I'm going to use the dollars. And if the market gives you 10% return, because that's not going to be steady, right? But we are averaging it out. That's going to be $1,320 because for $1,200, you'll get $120 in interest, so $1,320. The next January onwards, because say for example, you start from 1 January, and the next January onwards, the $1,320 is going to earn interest, right? And then you're putting another 100 and another 100, and it's going to be 1,400, 1,500. And then by the time you get to the second year, right, putting everything is the same, it's $2,520. And then that $2,520 is going to start earning another $252 on top of that. And then that whole money is going to start earning interest. That's compounding, right? At some point, the compounding is going to become so big, it's going to make a massive amount of money, right? So there's an estimation. If you put $500 a month for 30 years, into an ETF, you can be a millionaire. 500 and a million is a long way, but if you think about it, all that is actually compounding. So this is the basics of compounding, right? So the whole point of this channel is for me to share my knowledge that I gained, and it's a passion for me, right? Finance is a passion for me, workouts and lifestyle is a passion for me. So tech is a passion for me, right? So I'm mostly concentrating on my finance videos because I also feel like from my algorithms, the financial contexts are getting more clicks. So I'm going to concentrate more on them until I get some traction. And also, just remember this very carefully, right? You have to pick the right ones. So do a lot of research, right? Don't listen to anyone on YouTube or anywhere, right? You have to make your own research because anyone can say anything for their gain. And also, the other important thing here is when you have the mindset of consistently investing, the consistency is the most important thing in fitness, in finance, everything, because it's you're not going to become a millionaire in one day. That's the most important thing. Unless you've been a lottery or have a company, that's all great. But I always say you have to have a baseline in your retirement, right? And if it's $1 million, that's a great thing. And go try your other things. No one is going to stop you from it. And start as early as you can, right? Today is the day, not tomorrow. And not yesterday. You can't change yesterday. You cannot talk about tomorrow. It's today, right? If you want to start investing, if you're 18 or 19 or 20, it doesn't matter. If it's only $50, it's okay. Go for it. Because that's the habit is the most important thing. And then the compounding will do the rest for you. I hope this video was very enjoyable, and I am, as promised, keeping my consistency. Please watch my videos and also leave your comments below again. I'm reminding you, and thank you very much for your support. I appreciate it. It means a lot. It means the world for me, and I'm going to come with new content as well. And keep yourself fit, keep yourself healthy, stay safe, and until next, thank you, bye bye. And your host Pratis for wisdom.